Markets Now is brought to you by Durastack Trait Technology, the latest innovation from Syngenta. Available for the 2027 season, Durastack Technology features 3 powerful modes of action to outsmart, outmaneuver, and outmatch corn rootworms every move.
Welcome to Markets Now, coming to you from CattleCon 2026. I'm Michelle Rook, joined with Joe Vaclavik with Standard Grain. All right, Joe, mixed day in the grains. We were higher over in the cattle complex. Let's talk about soybeans first. Big rally off of President Trump's social media tweet about maybe more business to China. How much more?
Well, so Trump and Xi apparently had some sort of phone call. Trump said a lot of things in the Truth Social post, but the big thing that stuck out to me, of course, was the soybean piece. And he said that China could push soybean purchases for the current marketing year to 20 million metric tons. The original White House target, which we believe has been met or is close to been met, was 12 million. So this would infer that there might be another 8 million metric tons of soybean business out there for the current marketing year. So we're talking old crop U.S. soybeans. It raises a ton of questions. Is China going to come in and buy U.S. soybeans smack dab in the middle of Brazilian harvest when Brazil's got a lot of soybeans, biggest crop any country's ever harvested, 180 million metric tons, whatever it may be. But you know what? If that's the deal that Trump made and said in order for this truce to continue, we want another 8 million. I don't know that 8 million is a huge deal in the grand scheme of U.S.-China relations. So maybe it is possible. I'm going to go with the idea that it's possible and that it may happen. Because you know what? Trump made the deal for the first 12 million. It was later than farmers wanted it to be, better late than never. But and it happened. So I'm not going to push too hard against the fact that the idea that maybe this could happen.
Export sales, weekly export sales have been running about 20% behind last year's pace. Could this fill the gap or will it?
It's going to be hard to catch up after a very poor start, not only to sales, but maybe even shipments, more importantly. You know, our main shipping window for soybeans out of the United States is directly immediately post-harvest. It's October, November, December, and it starts to fade in January. So it could be a very interesting year. Are we going to see some massive contra-seasonal U.S. soybean shipping program? Massive relative to a normal year in that maybe there's going to be a bunch of stuff that goes to China that, you know, wouldn't typically be going this time of year. It opens the door again to a lot of questions.
And, you know, for the United States, like you said, logistically, can we get those beans there?
It's a good question. River levels are not fantastic. I think we've probably got some additional capacity at the PNW. Growers in the northern plains know how bad basis has been. It's because we haven't been doing a lot of PNW business. So you've probably got potential to expand that a little bit. We are still shipping a lot of corn. I'm not going to worry about the capacity. I want to see the sales first, and we'll figure the capacity out later.
That combined with some of the biofuels news as far as the demand picture, how much higher do we need to go in soybean prices to price all this in?
Well, you've got different pieces of demand news. So we had the 45Z stuff out yesterday. There's a lot of questions about how exactly the farmer is going to benefit. We know that the ethanol plant is going to benefit and that the biodiesel producer is going to benefit, renewable diesel producer is going to benefit. How does it benefit the farmer? What sort of trickle-down effect does it have on the farmer? Are you going to get paid for low CI corn, low CI soybeans? We'll find out, I guess. And then the other piece is pending RVO news. Right. We're going to see more renewable or updated renewable volume obligations. The industry is very optimistic about it. They think they're going to get what they want, but we don't know for sure.
The RVO news is bigger than the 45Z news for sure, isn't it?
Over the near term, I would say most certainly yes. Over the long term, 45Z could be incredibly beneficial, but we don't know how it's going to work out.
So let's go back to the original question I asked you. How much higher do soybean prices have to go here, do you think?
It's a great question. You know, it almost opens the door to like a new crop. I won't call it acreage battle, but maybe shift in the dynamic a little bit. Like, given what we know today, and it changed today, but given what we know, we think we're going to plant a lot of corn acres because soybeans don't make money. Corn doesn't make money either, but it's a little bit better. It's a little bit less bad, you know. This could turn you into a situation where, hey, maybe we need some soybean acres. Maybe that means corn acres a little bit lower. Maybe it could be overall positive for both crops.
So corn hardly followed soybeans today, though, even with the big rally. Disappointing, as you say. But if soybeans go up, does corn have to follow here?
Not necessarily, because corn can afford to lose some acres for this year. It could afford to lose a couple million versus what I think is probably reality right now. You could go from maybe what could be 96 down to 94. And then that gives you a fighting chance for some kind of market, you know, later this year.
Then the other only other big thing that could move that market is what? Safrinha corn problem or something weather-wise?
Yeah, weather-wise, of course, the U.S. corn growing season, make no mistake about it, we talk about Brazil a lot as it relates to growing season, how it's become a bigger deal, but when it comes to corn, the United States is king. We're the biggest producer by a large margin. Our growing season is the one that matters most. So just as any year, if we run into a weather problem in the United States this summer, the corn market will rally. It's just that we haven't seen that. We've gone a couple years without a weather problem now. We haven't seen those summer weather rallies as we've been accustomed to over the years.
Yeah. We couldn't follow soybeans either, so we're bucking up against a higher dollar again, or are we taking out weather premium what?
I just think in the United States we're oversupplied. The export market's not great. Export pricing is kind of soft. We tend to key off of Black Sea export pricing because Russia's the biggest wheat exporter, and it just the market globally has just not caught a great bid the way that we'd like to see it.
We've had a lot of money flow issues going on the last week or so here with new highs in precious metals and what's going on with the dollar, as you say. At some point, will that benefit the grain markets? Will the funds come in and buy because they see grains as undervalued?
I really hope so, because as a grain market person, I'm begging for that kind of volatility to hit our markets, even if just for a couple of days. We saw some of it in the soybean market today, but you'd like to see that maybe on a more extended basis. And with volatility comes good things and bad things, but at least we would have some good things, whereas right now it feels like we have no good things.
For sure. New highs for the move again in this cattle market. Obviously, this has been a cash-led rally. The inventory report's helping. How much farther do you think we take this? Do we go up and take out the October highs?
It's very possible. I don't really think there's very many obstacles aside from maybe something we don't know. A screwworm headline, a beef policy headline, an import headline, economic downturn. There's a lot of little things that could come out and cause a nasty correction for sure, but the fundamentals appear to be just about as strong as ever.
The semi-annual inventory report with the beef count numbers down 1%, this extends the window now for how long those prices could stay strong, right?
Yeah, the guys here at NCBA said this is gonna be another 2-3 years, and wouldn't argue with that for a second.
So risk management pretty important here, isn't it?
Yeah, we're here in Nashville at the cattle meeting, or at the Cattle Con, and attitudes are fantastic. People are super optimistic, and they have a reason to be. They should be. These are the good times, But you got to keep running your business as a business. You don't want to speculate or gamble too much on this stuff. The stakes are too high, and I said that, and I forgot what I said. It was kind of like somebody said the stakes are too high. You said they were too. That's not what I meant, but yeah, there's a lot of risk here, even though these are the good times,
And you mentioned a laundry list of things that could impact the cattle market as far as a black swan. What's the biggest? Is it border reopening or what?
I think it's screwworm, short term. I think that's what it is.
Okay, well, we'll watch to see if that happens and how the cattle market reacts. Thanks so much. Joe Vaclavik joining us here for Markets Now.
With corn rootworm costing farmers up to $1 billion a year, you need the right strategy. Introducing Durastack Trait Technology, featuring 3 powerful modes of action to strike corn rootworm at full force. Outsmart, outmaneuver, and outmatch their every move with the industry's first triple BT protein stack built for corn rootworm control. Take back your yield potential. Make your move at Durastack.com. Available for the 2027 season.